Welcome back again. Here we're back talking about more interesting things about Don't Starve Together characters. If you're interested in knowing more, there's multiple different videos that I'm going to be making regarding this because I think that it's really important to know which characters are the best for starting out in Don't Starve Together, which ones are the worst for starting out, which ones are the top tier characters, and of course, potentially which characters match up together as well too. My name is All Games. I stream every single day on Twitch TV, and I also play multiple different games, including Don't Starve Together and other games as well, like Minecraft and Stardew Valley and Raft and etc. etc. So if you're ever looking to play games with me, feel free. My games are always open. Everyone's always welcome to join. And of course, I'm also available for every time the drops are on Don't Starve Together on Twitch. You can always follow me there, and every time the drops are on, you can always hang out in my channel and get those awesome drops. So today I'm going to be talking about the top tier characters. Of course, everyone has their own opinion. Once again, I want to clarify, this is my personal opinion. This is not how good the characters are. For everyone has their own ideas about what they believe the top characters are and what they think is the best of the best. But of course, this is my personal opinion on what I've viewed in the past 5,000 hours of playing Don't Starve Together. Now, once again, like I said, everyone has their own opinion. So if you believe that there's a different reason, feel free to let me know in the comments and say, hey, you know what? You're wrong about this. I think that this, and I am more than willing to learn along the way. But I do believe I'm going to hopefully shine a little bit of light if you're looking to work towards getting some good characters, whether you're looking to unlock them with spools or whether you're just overall just curious. Okay, so going from the top to the bottom, let's talk about the top characters all the way to the not the lowest characters, but just the top characters all the way down here. So I'm not going to go like, okay, I rank you number one, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be just, these are the top tier characters that I believe are the best in Don't Starve. First line, Wendy. Wendy is one of the best characters. Now, you might hear a lot of people say things like, oh, of course you say Wendy is probably the best character. Everyone thinks Wendy's the best character. It's because it's true. Wendy is a character that not only gets herself to fight, but also her sister, Abigail. Okay, so when you start out with a little flower and you right click on the flower, and the flower summons a ghost to fight along you. That ghost grows stronger and gets better and better, and you also have little perks that you can add into the ghost as well. So you can give them like little potions, and Abigail will get stronger and you'll be able to heal and all that other stuff. And for that alone, Wendy is awesome. She can take on a ton of spiders at once, a ton of mobs at once. There's just so much versatility with Wendy. That's what makes her such a great character. And I'm going to kind of talk about Weber here for a moment. Now, Weber is my favorite character. However, unfortunately, they've kind of taken away from Weber a little bit and kind of put Wendy in her place. I used to love Weber so much. He's still my favorite character of all. Don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, Wendy can actually take on Weber like 10 times 1, because when you have Wendy and you have Abigail out and you go and you talk to you walk near a bunch of spiders and you activate a bunch of spiders to attack you. As soon as Abigail is attacking a million spiders at once, she has this huge AoE that basically stun locks spiders and pretty much kills them all at once. For Weber to do the same thing, because everyone always talks about spider wars and getting all the spooters to get together and fight each other. Now, Weber can do that, yes. However, the problem is, as Weber, is you have to like use one spider meat to get a bunch of spiders next to each other. They have to be within the same area, because if you take one spider meat and you walk near one spider den, all you're going to be really doing is getting all the spiders to basically attack the next spider den that's near it, because they're not going to attack the same spider den. Whereas with Wendy, if you go up to one spider den and you want to attack all the spiders, well, sure enough, Abigail can definitely do that for you, and chances are it can kill all those spiders. So for that, the only reason why I'm talking about Weber, not that I find that he's not a good character, I think that Wendy definitely overshadows him a ton. And that is one reason why I think Wendy's so strong, because Abigail makes up for... If Wendy did not include Abigail and had some other perk, I feel like Wendy would not even be shining a light on there. But Wendy is a really good character, and that's only one of the perks. I mean, other than that, she's obviously able to do. She does hit like less than a normal character, but Abigail makes up for it huge, and for that, Wendy is a top tier character. WX, I talked about him in my last video, or I talked about WX in my last video, and I believe that WX is a top tier character for one reason and one reason only. The fact that WX has no downsides other than rain, which every character really benefits, and if every character, loses from, because every character doesn't enjoy the rain. So WX is just another character that doesn't like the rain. All that happens is when it's raining, you lose a little bit of HP periodically, and it never rains for days on end in DST. You might get unlucky. There might be a day and a half, 2 days of rain, but past that, that's it. And WX can easily upgrade himself and get higher HP and all that other stuff just by eating gears. So not only do you have a character that can max his HP up to 400, you now have a character that's able to run fast by getting hit by lightning and multiple different things too. So WX is an awesome character. Mind you, there's no other special things like, you can't do anything interesting like make your own weapons or armor like Wigfrid, but the fact that you can get that HP up to 400 is amazing. So WX is a top tier character for me. Definitely great because you can get hit by lightning. You can run around. If you decide to encourage a Wickerbottom to hit you with lightning, you can do that and then run in the caves and get down in the ruins really early. There's a multiple different versatility with WX. So WX is a great character to set your sights for. Now, second line. I'm going to skip through all these characters. I know you might say something like, well, what about Woody? Woody's a good character. I'm actually going to talk about Woody a little bit. I think Woody could potentially be a top tier character. However, past the ability of crowd controlling with his certain forms. So Woody's a good character because he can chop an entire forest. Past that, he's able to turn into a beaver, which encourages more chopping of the forest. He can also turn into a goose. Now, maybe, just maybe, I could potentially put him in a top tier category because of this reason. Starting out in Don't Starve Together could be very easy and also very tough. But if you get yourself to the lunar biome, you can get yourself a ton of veggies right away and a ton of food instantly that'll basically get you through winter and everything full 360 as fast as you can basically want to. Because stone fruits are what you get from the lunar biome, and these grow super duper quick. So Woody has the ability to transform into a goose. And when you transform into a goose, you can run across water. So instead of having to deal with making a boat and all that stuff and making a sail or just an oar or whatever, you just basically get yourself into goose form, which can be achieved by making yourself a kitschy goose idol, which is really easy to make, requires monster meat and some seeds. As soon as you do that, you transform into that. You go over to the lunar biome. As soon as you get there, you dig up all those lunar trees or anything that you want for the stone fruit bushes as well. You dig all those up. You come right back to where you were living, plant them all again. Boom, you're good to go. Now, Woody also has the ability to turn into a moose, and the moose is good because you can actually go and attack a bunch of things all at once. The only downfall is when you come out of these forms, of course, you basically lose all of your hunger and you got to make sure you eat something right away. So you just kind of got to maintain him a little bit. I think Woody's kind of almost top tier. I wouldn't say he's 100% top tier, but definitely a great character. I love Woody a lot, but I think he's kind of just leaning on the fence of being a top tier character. So I just want to talk about him a little bit. Wigfrid, obviously a top tier character, can make endless amounts of awesome armor. You're able to get a ton of people a lot of stuff as long as you have a lot of gold and the requirements needed to do so. And of course, she gains HP from healing and sanity from fighting. I should say, sorry, not from healing. She gains healing from fighting and sanity from fighting. So those two things are awesome. And of course, she has her own little songs that she can sing while she's fighting and doing things too. That builds up over time. So as soon as you're fighting something and you're attacking, her little meter builds up, and then you can do a little song while you're fighting, and your friends around you gain a little bit of an AoE bonus as well. So that's really, really cool. A little chance that she can do. So definitely a great character. Wigfrid, I think everybody knows Wigfrid, and she's a great character for just the fact of that. And if you can get away from the whole always having to eat meat thing, she's perfect. She's a great character. Next in line for me would be Wartox. Now, I'm skipping over Worley for the fact that I think Worley definitely could use a little bit of a change. He's a great character for almost encouraging other players to eat foods that have a little bit of spices in them. But I think they skipped over Worley quite a bit because I don't really see many people playing Worley anymore. I see people playing Worley by themselves just to kind of test around with Worley, but a lot of people have migrated over to Wanda. And I think Worley's a great character, but I think they could change him a little bit to make him a little bit more enticing, because otherwise I don't really see many people trying to play him in group settings anymore because he's a little bit too tedious. And in my opinion, I'm not one that plays Worley that often, so I can't really comment on him. But I see people try Worley for a little bit and then eventually just switch back to the normal characters. So Wartox, amazing character. Obviously, the number one character that I would say I love seeing around the group. Wartox can just heal the group with a ton of souls, and for that matter alone, AoE healing is amazing. You're just in a fight, you're about to die, Wartox drops like 10 souls in 3 seconds, and you just instantly get your HP back. Definitely a top tier character. Probably one of my #1 characters in Don't Starve Together. I think Wartox deserves a crown because he's like definitely one of the best characters. I mean, top notch. If you can get a really good Wartox in the game with you, you can do really well. I've seen a few people like jump in the games with me. It's like me, Wartox, and one other person, and we're fighting like endless bosses without having any issues. And Wartox for that is an awesome character. I'm gonna put Wormwood in the category of a potential top tier character as well. Now, the reason why I'm putting Wormwood there, not for the fighting tactics or anything, but Wormwood offers a ton of things to kind of give you a big boost in the world of Don't Starve Together. One of those that I think is probably one of the best things, and most maybe almost like the kind of like under the radar situation, is the fact that Wormwood could sit there and give you a piece of their arm endlessly that gives you tons of living logs. And living logs are so awesome. They're so unique and sometimes hard to come by. And so for that reason alone, you can have a Wormwood sitting there tearing their arm off every 3 seconds and a Wartox sitting there and healing the Wormwood every 3 seconds, and you have a perfect combo. And we're going to talk about combos in another video, but for now, I just want to talk about how Wormwood is such a great character. That alone, you can have Wormwood just go around and basically grow plants really easy, and honestly, just an all-around great character. But once again, not for really fighting, but more or less, once again, another team-based character, much like Wartox. Okay. The last character that I'm going to put in the top tier category is obviously Wanda. And a lot of you have probably seen Wanda recently come into the radar, and everyone's like, I'm switching to Wanda. Like, she's overpowered. She's great. Now, Wanda is not necessarily overpowered. Wanda is a character that, once again, she does not require, and if you look at all the other characters, she does not require HP. Instead, Wanda is working on the clock, meaning that she is relying on the clock. Once she gets to a certain age, and the clock expires, she will die. So of course, and the older she is, the more damage she does. So in this case, if her HP, aka if her clock time or time left on the clock is low, she does more damage. So she has more kind of like enticing of keeping her clock almost on death's door to doing a lot more damage. Now, this is why Wanda is such a great character, because you can do a ton of damage with her abilities and using her little clocks that she has to attack with and her little stopwatch, because when you're doing that, she's doing a ton of damage, and especially when she's getting boosted from other items in the game of Don't Starve Together, she's doing even more damage than what any other character can put out, especially like Wolfgang, for example. So for that reason alone, that's why Wanda is so good. And other reasons is because Wanda can basically revive everyone in the constant using basically a free Telltale heart that never expires, and that's her little watch. And so she uses a little backtrack, or she uses a little revive watch that when she goes over to somebody, she can revive them, and it just has a little countdown timer, and you wait, and then it revives again. So if you have 2 Wandas in the world and they're working together, they can just endlessly revive each other and never have to worry about booster shots or anything. Wanda is one of the most recent characters that's come to Don't Starve Together, and Wanda is one of the best characters to ever come to Don't Starve Together. Both Wartox and Wanda, I mean, they're newer characters, and they are just like out of this world. They're just great, great characters. There's so much to talk about Wanda. I'm not going to fill this video with it because I'm sure you can watch a million other videos on YouTube explaining deep into categories about why Wanda is so good. But yeah, Wanda is a top tier character. Give Wanda a shot. So there you go. There's all of the top characters of Don't Starve Together in my personal opinion. And once again, this is my opinion. Don't go crazy on me and say, oh my God, I can't believe you completely skipped over Wirt. Wirt is such a great character. How could you? Once again, this is my opinion. And I think that kind of, I could have probably skipped over a few characters, but I think that for what I've been seeing lots and lots of times, these are the characters that I mostly see people commenting about how awesome they are and how great it is that they finally learned how to play these characters. So give it a shot. Try to learn these characters if you can. If you're saving for spools, I would highly recommend Wartox or Wanda, or just flip a coin because they're both great characters. So give them a shot, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again for watching this. Have a good one.